I was coaching my son's football team, little 7 and 8 year olds, and one of the parents come up and just said, "Hey, you ought to try the National Guard. They've got to try one where prior service can go in for a year and see if they like it." And eventually, I said, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." I went in there, and 25 years later, I retired, and 23 of those were full time.
There you go. And what'd you go in as? A $1.05?
No, I went in as they cost me a rank. I went down to E4 to come in there.
Oh, so you were E5 and you went down to E4 and then you're up to E9.
Yeah.
Wow, check you out, man. That's pretty good. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to bring up that we haven't talked about with your service time in Vietnam?
I miss it. Not the Vietnam part, but the flying.
Oh, yeah.
I taught crew chiefs and door gunners while in the States. Every natural disaster that went on in the Southeast, we were at.
Oh, really?
Hurricane Katrina, all the fires in South Georgia and in Florida.
Hurricanes. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Every bit of it we were at.
Wow. What kind of unit were you back? What were you reassigned to? What kind of unit over here?
It was a Huey unit.
Okay. Where was it based?
It was Georgia National Guard.
Okay.
And we were at a place called Winder to start with. Is just a assault helicopter company with Hueys. Okay. Then we got Blackhawks and we changed to a battalion, which we only had like I think one flight company with us. And we moved to this place called Dobbins Air Force Base. And then when we were there, it's all these fires coming, and we were taking Bambi buckets and dropping water on the fires and doing all that stuff.
Tell me about your issue with the reacclimation process that we did not have as combat people.
Right. From my perspective, it was wrong to take people straight out of combat and then put them back into the civilian world. You know, they came back from Vietnam. They said, "Thank you for your service," and out the door you went. Some of the guys did that. And I think that made them have a really tough time adjusting. The ones I think that were lucky, if you call it that, they came back to the States and they still had a few months or a year or something like that to serve.
Right.
So that kind of acclimated them a little bit, you know, but to get out of the service, and when you come into the service, they take a civilian and train them to be a soldier.
Be a killer.
Yeah. But then whenever you get out of service, it just boop, you're back to the civilians.
Back to the neighborhood.
It takes some time to reacclimate and figure out what's going on. Because in the Army or the military, your place in the organization is well defined. You know who's above you, who's below you, and what your duties are. You get back to the civilian world, it's all convoluted. You kind of lost for a while till you figure out what's going on.
Yeah. The interesting thing about that was, like you said, reacclimation. Well, I was supposed to go to the 82nd back at Fort Bragg when I got back. And I wrote some politicians and people, and I got a transfer. Instead of going to Fort Bragg, I went to Fort Hamilton, Brooklyn, which was 30 miles from my house. Yeah. And talk about reassigned to duty. I was put in charge of a ceremonial squad, burials.
Oh, man.
So that went like from one side of the coin to the other side of the coin, doing the funerals for people that I, left. And it was, I think that actually somehow perpetuated my issues